Hello everyone, welcome to Scott Hart Voice, the channel dedicated to voiceovers in video games, and welcome back to Satisfactory. And I have been busy. How do adjust my mic there? Okay. There was about a 2.5 week period on my channel when I uploaded no videos because I was busy doing this. Dear goodness me, that took so freaking long. Oh my gosh. But the uplift is nearly complete. Let me explain what the uplift was. Beforehand, all of my production was in these little production nodes, all near some type of resource, right? So we had iron over here, and we had, both of these tapped, and they were making our plates, our rods, our screws, our wire, our cable, and we also had, our copper sheets over there. And then I had these manufacturers that I put together for little one-offs with some containers feeding into them, and then I did another one for crystal oscillators. Oh, it has been a crazy busy past 2 weeks, and it is now time to show you what I've done. Now, you'll see as I look around the world where I have these little pillars coming up and down. These little pillars, along with the walkways, are signaling something to me. And what they signal is that this is a basic item that is being produced. I think the closest one over here is this one. So what I do is I have this miner here along with... What other miners is it taking from? I think these ones. I think it was one of these and these two miners for this. And because each one of these areas that are bringing something up into the sky world are all bringing in 480 ingots worth of whatever item is being produced there. So this is 480 iron ingots being turned into, I think that stop is plates, and then this one is rods, because there's another conveyor belt on the other side of that pillar that's bringing up ingots into the production system. I think this one is plates and this one is rods. Anyway, the basic items that I have are plates, rods, screws, wire, steel pipes, steel plates, and I know it's not a basic item, but it's something that's being produced at the node with the resources coming in are encased beams, because there's enough steel production over there along with enough concrete that it made sense to bring steel and concrete up and make beams right there. And the reason I'm doing this the reason I'm doing it this way as opposed to bringing up ingots and taking ingots somewhere else to make something is because by producing the first level element off of the ingot, not first level element, the first level item off of the ingot, that's one less train that needs to be on the system, which is less power. And in my last playthrough, I had ingot stations, and I really didn't like having to move ingots from one place to another. And so I decided in this playthrough that I'm going to have the ingots come straight up into a station, and that station will make whatever it is. And then all the other stations are consuming one of those items. So they'll be consuming case beams or wire or steel pipes or steel plates or regular plates or rods or whatever it is. They all take some combination of one or more of those things. And the reason I say one is because I think it's this production node here. That's cable. So, it only takes one thing, wire. Now, the way I came around doing all of this is I decided to give myself some standards to work for. And let me show you what I'm talking about. This is what I'm aiming to do. 1 adaptive control unit a minute, 1 modular engine, 4 versatile frameworks. And you'll see what the actually is. In some cases, they will say what I'm actually doing over here. What this is consumption, which really, I'm actually not consuming any of these right now. I'm not actually consuming, but I'm making one. I will be making 1 adaptive control unit, 1 modular unit, 1 modular engine, and 4 versatile frameworks a minute. And then this is what they actually require for that amount. And so what I've done is I've made a cable production node that takes 480 wire. Technically speaking, it actually, well, yes, actually it does, because I have enough constructors to make 240 cable a minute. So I actually am consuming 480 wire when it's running. So this is what the max capacity of it is. When everything is fully built, it will be consuming, the other factories will be consuming 192 cable. And so the things that are consuming 192 are automated wiring, computers, and that should be 132. Right? Because I think it's just computers and automated wiring. Yeah, whoops, that should be 132. Anyway, I'm making 240, and I'll be consuming 132 at full production when everything is running. And I think you guys kind of get the idea. So for modular frames, I will actually be making 16, but I will only be consuming 12, and I'm going to be consuming 2 from versatile frameworks and 10 from heavy modular frames, because I'm going to aim to actually make 2, though only 1 will be getting consumed from the adaptive control unit. So I hope that makes sense. How do I say this? I feel like this would have made a whole lot more sense as a spreadsheet as opposed to a note document, but that's what I did. I found that my bottlenecks for this build were, ironically, reinforced iron plates and wire. Wire was the other one. I do have a few other things that I'm going to be building later on, and that is going to be AI limiters. I'll be making 20 of them, and high-speed connectors. I'll be making 6. There will be 0 consumption of them off the bat, but I will have them. And you'll see that a few of these say done because I needed to actually build them. If there is no done, they're not in place yet. If you'll see next one, this is the next one that I'm going to build. And then there's next 2, which is the following. Next just meaning it's next up in the list. So I'm going to build the motor production node for you guys. And then I'll probably take care of plastic and rubber off of camera, because that is going to be an extremely long build. It might take me a full week to do it. I don't fully know. But this is everything that I'm going to be build for everything that is currently in the base. Now, let me show you what these sky trains are, how they're laid out. If I come over to the map and I bring it over here, there we go. Make it full screen for you guys. This is how it's all laid out right now. They're all a grid, and the grid is made up of a few blueprints. Remember in the previous episode when I was showing you the blueprints that the idea that I was going to work with of the 2-meter foundation followed by kind of like a lifted area for the tracks to run? Well, I did that. And the way that I did it is with a couple blueprints. Well, actually a few, I should say. It's more than just 2. They're either 3 foundations long or 5 foundations long, followed by a very tight roundabout. let's go up to the top and let me show you what I did. All right. We are going to head out this way. This is one of the few places that doesn't actually have a... There's like the pillar going up and the stairs coming up and down, but there's no actual production here because this is the starter node. And it's the choo-choo crib. Anytime I build a new train, I always build it here. All trains have their birth spot in this station. Oh, also, I did move the space elevator. And I do now have blueprints. I have a Mark 6 over there. And then I moved the hub up over here. So this is kind of like my base of operations area. So let me show you what this track looks like. So you'll see that it has a 2-meter foundation. And on top of it, a 1-meter slope, followed by 1-meter foundations on top of it. And I decided to use the coated foundation, I think is what it is, the plastic coated concrete, because I kind of liked being able to see the reflections. I think it looks kind of cool. I know some people may hate it. Whatever. That's what I decided to go with. I think it looks kind of cool. And then this is asphalt on the side. Now, let's get a place where I won't get hit. I think that'll work. Hello. How's it going, Choo Choo? The blueprints do not have rails in them. And I tried, but the rails just have a really, really tough time connecting to each other when they're placed via a blueprint. So I actually had to build the rails manually, which sucks. But what this is a barrier going down the center along with a metal beam, and it's just for that one blueprint. And then there's another blueprint right there, another 3-1 long, and then we have our 2 5s. So what we do is we have 3 blueprints that are 3 long, followed by 2 blueprints that are 5 long, followed by another 3 that are 3 long. And that gives me a total of 28 foundations, which should being the key word, give me enough space to be able to have, theoretically, 1 station on this side of the track, over on that side. So 1 station on the north side of this track that's a pickup for whatever item is being made, followed by a 4 drop-off station here. So for every extra station, it's 5 more foundations out. So if we have 5, 10, 15 plus the 4 that is here, that is 19 plus 4 out here, which is 23, which should give us 5 foundations of space. We'll never have anything that has more than 3, anything more than 4, so we don't really need to worry about that. So that's why I went with about 28, and also that's kind of just what I did. Now you'll notice that there are some blueprints here that don't have the foundation. And the reason why is because I didn't think it would look really good, not foundation, having the beams and the barriers on it. I didn't think it would look very good with the beam and barrier going through the freaking track. I don't think it would look good. So that's why I created one of the blueprints that didn't have it. And so the way that this works is any tracks north and southbound will not have an empty, how do I say this? They will never not have the barrier, except for when we start getting into the actual roundabout itself. Anything that's in between roundabouts will have a barrier because there will be no production nodes on a north-southbound line. All production goes off of an east to west basis. So all stations, every single station that is an input will be facing east. Any station that is an output, in this case stators, will be a westward facing station. So all inputs are on the south side of the track and all outputs are on the north side of that track. That way everything is in the same direction. I hope that makes sense. Now, what in the world do these inputs look like? Well, first off, this is full, so we don't have anything moving in right now because I'm not consuming any stators because I saved the rotor build for last to show you guys. But I have this station up here, and what happens is the stations below will feed up and into these buffer chests, and all the buffer chests, excuse me, will have a merging system and then go out into the actual production. So same thing here with wire. Oh, hey, stator's fully backed up. Woohoo! They weren't fully backed up earlier today, so that's really nice to see. And so then they'll go into the production area for whatever's being produced here, in this case stators, and I'm making 14 stators. So I have 4 assemblers all clocked at 3.5. Because 3.5 times 2 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14. And then they're all coming into one merger and going out into the storage chest. And the storage chest then uses a double connection to hydrate the... to hydrate the actual pickup of whatever we're making here. In this case, stators. Signals. Block signal at the beginning, and the actual station that it stops at. There's one station. There's one block signal when the two lines come together. There's also another block signal on the main line at the same distance as the block signal of where the train stops. And then that's it. I originally had another block signal here, but I realized that I have a block signal coming out from the roundabout, so it was actually superfluous to put a block signal here. It was completely pointless. So each station has 1, 2, 3, 4 if it's just a one station. For every extra station, there will be another 2 signals. One for the entrance and one for the exit of the train coming in. So that's how it's signaled up. So with this all being the case, we're going to go grab a bunch of concrete, and then we're going to head on over to this area here, which is, I think, just 1-2 areas out, and we're going to build motors there. Where's my concrete? Let's see, it's on this side. Yeah, there it is. Hello, concrete. Hello, concrete, my old friend. I've come to use a bunch of you again. 5,000? Let's go 6. Oh, and also on the map, you'll have seen that I built a bunch of railways out towards plastic. That's so it's all, that way everything is all on one network. And the other reason why this is beneficial is this. When I start making high-speed connectors, after I finish plastic and rubber, once I finish the plastic and rubber build out there, I'll be able to do all of the other builds for everything I need for phase 3. And after I'm done with everything for phase 3, I'm going to start production of high-speed connectors. And the reason why is so I can do this. Right now, everything is all on the same system because of, well, there's actually a couple redundancies back here that I have to get rid of. But right now, what my plan is to have all of the power from the coal power and the fuel power plant over there coming down the wire, literally coming down the wire and up to this one connection. And this one connection will be the entire production system off of this. And I want to put a priority power switch right here so I can just cut the whole thing. Because like I said before, I do plan on having the power. I originally had said just for fuel power, but I'm going to also say coal. So coal and fuel power will all be off of its own integrated, all on its own network, and then it will be connected to the entire system through this priority power switch here. And then if something starts to fail, I can kill all of this. The entire base I can kill in one shot. And that way power can still go. I can figure out what's going on, and then we can fix it and move on with our lives. As for power production right now and power consumption, I do need to go over to the power facility and find out why it's still fluctuating. It still is not at full capacity all the time. But as for our max consumption, we are currently at about 13.5 gigawatts, which, at its minimum, we're at 21. So we still have 8 gigawatts to work with, and we're only building a few more things that we don't already have. We're doing motors. We're doing plastic and rubber out there, which will also include its own power source as well, because it'll be creating not residual, but a fuel byproduct. And I'm going to consume that because there's a bunch of sulfur and coal out there. So I'll be making some turbo power out there too to help supplement the amount that one is making over there. Also, something else to be aware of is that this is actually not it's not a valid measurement. And the reason why is because I have some one-off factory things over here that I'm manually feeding. I still have to tear down a few old things. The old area where we were making rotors, automated wiring and all that, I have to tear this down. And then also, I still have the heavy, the regular modular frame build right here. This is still wired up too. So I also need to get rid of that. And I did move that, right? No. I need to move that dimensional depot. That dimensional depot needs to go over to modular frames over there. I totally forgot to move that. Anyway, like I said, all places that are making some form of ingot, they are making 480 of that ingot and then being brought up. In this case, I'm making 480 steel along with a ridiculous amount of concrete, and then bringing it all up. And that's for encased beams. That is steel beams. That one is rotors. I'm saving that last location on that side for quick wire. So I have that little quick wire build right there. I'm going to bring that up over there. Okay. We have what we need in terms of concrete. Let's go build motors. I'll show you how I do it. Oh, do I have enough wire? 1,000. 1,000. Why did I call it 1,000? I'm gonna need 200 for each station. And motors and stators are just one to build. So each pickup and drop off is only going to be 300 wire. I think I have enough, and also to build the whole thing. So I think I should be good. The reason I'm having to calculate that is because I haven't picked up any more Mercer spheres, and that one that I had that was sitting out, I used on cable. So I'm going to have to go hunting for some more Mercer spheres to be able to get a few more things that I need for building into the dimensional depot. I already took out the sloped sides here, so we can get to building. So let's do it. This is going to be our pickup, and we're going to be making 4 motors a minute. And so, because we're only making 4, we're only going to have 1 train. Sorry, not one train, but one cart on the train. So let's do that because it should have been a zoop. We're going to build out 4. 1, 2, and these are 10 long because it's the 2 middle and the 5, the 2, 5 in the middle. 3, 4, and for the drop off, for what we're going to need, we're going to build out 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for the first one, for the first station. Now we need another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that'll be enough space for the second station, but we also have to build out 4 this way in order for the tracks to be able to merge in. So we're going to build 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going to build it out like this. Now you'll see why I needed so much freaking concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And then we need to build the extra 4 on the other side, and then we can actually start building stations. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And once I'm done with phase 3, I may end up taking a week off from this because Eden Crafters has gone into early access, and I would like to play that. And also, I could really use a little bit of detox from this. I just really wanted to finish the Uplift and phase 3 before I was completely done with all of this. So, yeah. All right, now what we need is we need our station. We need our pickup station. So let's go to our number 7. Hello. And where it's going to be facing this way to the west. Right? Yeah, west. And we want it down there, so we're going to hit hold, and then we'll nudge it into position. And we want this on the seam. So right there, the middle of that rail is on the seam. Boom. And another way of knowing that that has actually been placed correctly is the train station itself has a little slope on the end. If that slope stops on the seam of this, you're in the right placement. But I also like to make sure it's lined this way. Aligned this way, east-west. So I like to come over here and just make sure that's correct. All right. Now we're going to build our freight platform. We need 1 on this side, and then we're going to build 7 empties. There we go. So that is our station for 4 motors. And I'll show you my naming scheme here. This is motor pickup 4 a minute. Let me show you the others. Oh, it's not connected to the system. Let me connect it real quick so we can see everything else. To connect it, since these are 3, I bring it out 3, and then I bring it out 1.5 foundations right here. And then another 1.5 lines it up with the rail over there, and it comes out 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 by 1.5 for the curve, and 3 by 1.5 by 3 to get it back into place. Now it's on the system. Let me show you the others. It's only 100. It's not bad for the one station. Let's close this for the moment. We have iron plate pickup for 320 a minute. Iron rod pickup 480. Screws pickup 1,920. Wire pickup, I think you get the idea. If it's a P after the name of it, it's a pickup. If it's a D after the name of it, it's a drop-off. It's something that consumes that. Now, you'll see a few things that are before iron plates or whatever. This is saying it's an iron plate and an iron rod. I don't technically really need it for rods because Oh, wait, no, I did. I did need it for rods because there are electromagnetic control rods. So those will be EMC rod instead of iRod. Pipe really didn't need it, but I did anyway because it's a steel pipe, steel plate, encased beams, copper sheets, blah, blah, blah. I think you get the idea. Some of these I didn't really need to have them, but modular frames, I need that one because we'll have heavy modular frames. So that'll be HM frame, stuff like that. So I think you get the meaning, the idea of it. Because these train station names are only so long, and in my previous playthrough, like, I had parentheses and all kind of stuff, and it was just a nightmare. They were so long. They were so long. Anyway, once this is done, I'm only going to... So for right now, I'll only have 2 more trains being added. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll only have 8 trains running for this entire system. And then once I finish rubber and plastic, then I'll have another 2 trains for that. And then plus the other trains, whatever I have to add in the future. So I'll need to add motors. I'll need to add all sorts of stuff. Anyway, it's really nice not having to have trains for just ingots. I'm saving a lot of power by doing the processing on that production node and then making that as a pickup. Actually, this is a prime example of one. This is the copper sheets pickup. This one is 240, so I actually kind of broke my rule and did 4 trains instead of 3. And that's because having a 3 long train is just kind of weird. So I just erred on the side of making it 4 long. Like, whatever. But you'll notice that there's nothing else on this side. That's because this is a production node that is consuming the resource straight up. And one thing that I'm doing for everything that I'm making right off of an ingot, I'm syncing that object. So all extra sheets are going into the sink. I had the same thing for screws, and all the things that I told you were basic, so like encased beams. And they're not necessarily quote-unquote basic, but they're like first level items going on to the train. And by first level, I don't mean like basic items, low tech things. I'm meaning like they're the first thing that I'm putting onto the train logistic system. So just know that's what I mean by that. How many tickets am I at? Ha! Nice. All right, let's finish making motors. And you know, I may end up doing some, what is it called? Eden Crafters here soon anyway. All right, that's in place. Let's nudge it over. That's good. And yeah, that looks right. Yep, that's good. And then we're going to do one gap, one foundation gap right there. Get that in line. Perfect. It's in line with that. We're good to go. And you'll see why we need to have this gap here in a minute. These are stators and rotors. So we only need one platform. Well, freight platform, I should say. We still need empty platforms. Because all drop-offs are... I'm making every single thing 4 long. There. This one is going to be consuming... Let me get over to my notes here. We're making 4 motors, not 2. I'm going to be making 8. I'm going to be consuming 8 motors and 8 stators, or 8 rotors and 8 stators. Okay, so this is motor drop off 8. Okay, and this is stator drop off 8. And I did say the right amount of motors making, right? Yeah, motor production, motor pickup 4. So that's good. Okay. Let's get the outbound lined up here. And I think it's right here. Yeah. Halfway through that. And then hook her up. So in and out is hooked up there. Now this one's a little bit different because there's 2 tracks right here, right? So I'm going to show you how I do this. Once again, we come out 3. 3.5. Where's that half? Right there. It's kind of hard to see the half on the asphalt. That's the only thing I don't like about using asphalt on this. Because I think some of them I haven't put directly halfway. I think I maybe put them a little bit off. Anyway, what we do now is we come out 3 once again. And then we come out 3 this way. Which ironically, not ironically, but calculated, believe it or not, lines up with this. So I just find out where that 3 is there. 3 is here. And boom. And then I'm going to come out 3 because it's the same amount as over to there. I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3 foundations, put it right there on the seam, and hook it up. And now we have both inbounds. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And we're now at 39. Good. And then back to here. One, 2, 3. And now all the rails are in place for this node. And I really do want to show you guys how to make this. This is a very... Number one, this is the smallest you can make a roundabout. It's 5 by 5. And it's like super simple to make. It just takes a moment. I made it as a blueprint, and it was really tough to make the blueprint, but I eventually got it. And I'm going to show you guys how to make the blueprint. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's take a moment from this. Let's head on over to the... let's head on over to the Choo Choo Crib. And I'm going to show you guys how to make this blueprint. Okay, here we go. The first thing is you need to know that this is easiest placed on some form of foundation. But I'm not going to actually have a foundation to show you guys that. I'm going to be building it right on the Blueprint Designer. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab our 1 meter foundation. We're center right here. Okay. And because I like the coated plastic, the coated concrete foundation, I'm going to do that. So using this foundation, I'm going to build out 2 in all ordinal directions. Then I'm going to build out 2 in one direction. It doesn't really matter as long as it's the same direction on each side. Okay? And there's a very specific reason we need to do this. And it has to do with being able to place rails in the blueprint. It actually sucks to place rails in the blueprint if you don't do it right. As a matter of fact, we are going to go ahead and place them now. Because if you... Yeah, I was afraid that might happen. Okay. There. You kind of have to finagle it, find out which one you can actually build off of. Because like if you try and build off of here, the rail's actually going out of the blueprint designer and it doesn't work. So in the middle of here. And if you ever have to be able to get the rail to default to a different direction, you unbuild that foundation, rotate it 90 degrees, and rebuild it. But thankfully, in this case, we're good. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out the middle piece, and then we're going to copy that piece again. Now, we're going to rotate it 45 degrees. Just one click of the mouse track. It is imperative that you, when you do this, you be looking at the side of one of these foundations. And the reason why is because if you attempt to look at the bottom, if you attempt to look down here, it will move it. And you have to have it like in the exact same spot, but only rotated 45 degrees. And a guaranteed way to do that is just look at the side of the foundation of one of the ones that you just, like one of these side foundations here. Any one of them. And then boom, you're going to place that one. Off of it, you're going to build two in every direction. And so now you're left with this weird looking star kind of thing. And now what you're going to do is you're going to build from the edge of this railway. This is the reason why we had to build this out in one direction. You can either build out left or right, it doesn't matter. The reason why is so we can actually get a curve going. You can't get a curve if you don't have a straight one going. And in a blueprint designer, it's a freaking nightmare. Anyway, you just take it to the middle of that next piece, to that next section. And now we'll do it here too. Right there. And here. And here. Now we can delete these. All the straight ones, they're gone. Whoop. No, stop. There. And now we can hook up all of the rails. And now we have a circle. So now what we'll do is we'll get rid of these extra pieces here. Well, actually, I guess you could, if you really just wanted it to be a complete circle on a square, at this point you just get rid of the diagonals that you created. And that middle one, copy this, and just start filling it all out. There. Let's see, what else do we need? Whoop. Here. And here. There. Now, we have a perfect 5x5. Excuse me. We have a perfect 5x5 roundabout. How do we hook it up? Well, I'm glad you asked. You didn't actually ask. But I'm going to show you anyway. I'm going to go over here, because I'll eventually need to have one in this place anyway. And I already have it ready to go. So what I did is for building out this line all the way to plastic, I still did the same thing. 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3. And then in between those, so this is the end of that last 3, I built out 7. I built out 7 blocks. And then I built, with 1 space on each side, I built 5. And so going out 7 this way on all 5 of these, on this entire 5 width, plus the 5 here, it creates the space for a new roundabout to go in all 4 directions. I'm just going straight, so I just built straight. So I just have 1 rail connecting the 2 areas. Because what I do is I have the rail, each rail is the same length as the blueprint that it's sitting on. So just kind of heads up. That's the way I designed that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of these two rails. And now we're going to get rid of this entire section here. Boom. Done. Wait, hold on. Now it's done. Now what we want to do is we want to place the blueprint that we just created on this section. Now I'm going to wait for the autosave to finish, just in case it takes this moment. There. Okay. For 5x5, that would be this corner to that opposite corner over there. So I'm going to grab my blueprint. And I'm going to line it up close to where it should be. And then I can just nudge it into place. Now, this is not the blueprint that I literally just created, right? Because with the blueprint that I made, all four of these corners were the same as these, right? Well, with my design, I like having the slopes. So with my blueprint, I did the inverted slope corner right there. So, yeah, whatever. And then we can grab that foundation and place it. Looking good? Yeah, looking good. And we'll place that in all four sides. On all four sides, not in. And then we'll grab the ramp and we'll place the ramp in the correct position on all four corners. There. Now that's ready to rock and roll. There's going to be one thing I have to show you guys in relation to this, okay? And I can't show you without building out another direction. So I'm going to place one of my segments, and this is north-southbound, so there'll be nothing built off of this segment. So I want the one that has a straight segment 3 with barriers. And I'm going to get it roughly in position. Line up the middle, make sure we're right on the seam. Good. Okay. Now I need to build that train segment so we can hook this up. This is a very important thing to know, because if you don't know this, you will not be able to build the roundabout with all four directions going. Because what you do to hook up the lines is you place the railway and you put it in the middle of that segment out to the side. Like that. And then you build it out like that. And then like that. And like that. Now, this is fine. But we only have two directions going. All this does is allow someone to be able to turn around. How do we be able to get out to the side? What we do is this. We take it and we connect it to the same place. But oh no, we can't do it. Hit H. And you're good. That's it. That's all you have to do. So once again, look at it. Go to the one you want to go to. Oh no, it won't connect. Whatever shall I do? Hit H. You're good. And now it's connected. It looks a little bit wonky, but it works. How do we signal this? I'm glad you asked. Pass signals in. Pass signals in, block signals out. So if your trains are running on the right side, pass signal here. Jump to the other side. Here. And here. Now, the reason I like having right side trains as opposed to left side is that your signals don't overlap each other. Because if your signals are on the inside, so say your trains are coming this way on the left side, your pass signal here is going to interfere with the block signal of this train. And that's no bueno for being able to see what the heck is going on. If your train segments are further apart, this is not an issue, right? Say you have a full So my tracks are 5 wide. If yours are 7 with an entire block in between, then you don't have a problem. You're good. But if you're like me and you have only like this half foundation in between the two, having signals for left side trains, it's gonna suck to find out what's going on. It's gonna be so difficult to research why trains are hitting each other or getting into a deadlock. So that's why I do signals on the right side. So that's why my trains are right side bound. All right, and block signals are going out. So we'll put a block signal there. Block signal there. And the block signal there. And now we have a roundabout. Perfect. As small as it can be, taking up the least amount of space. And it's blueprinted. If you have a 7 wide train network, you can't blueprint that. You can't blueprint a 7 wide roundabout. You could a 6 if you figure out how to do it. All right, let's go finish off our production for motors. I really wanted to show you guys that and why it's so important. And yeah, I could have just built a train and just drove over here. I didn't think to do that. Pay no attention to the man in the mirror. Yes, I know it's behind the curtain. I know. But I like mixing my idioms. Man in the mirror and man behind the curtain. Pay no attention to the man in the mirror. It's called a Malaphor. I like Malaphors. Okay. My favorite Malaphors, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. All right. So how do I build the top? Well, what I do is I go to the last platform. Forgot what it was called for a moment. I go to the last platform, go to the edge. I hit E already. Build my catwalk corner. Get my stairs, and I go up 6. Then I hit 9. Hit E again for the corner. I'm going to build a corner there. Now I have something to stand on. And I'm going to get a 4-meter tall foundation. And I'm going to go to vertical, and I'm going to build up 6. Then I'm going to flip it over to foundation meter 2. And I'm going to change it from vertical to zoop. I'm going to build out 8. Sorry, I'm going to build out 10. Delete those ones. And then I have to rebuild 4 on... Not rebuild, but I have to build out 4 more on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of note, it's important to know that that first pillar that I built up to be able to build this one off of it, I built it on this particular foundation, which is the next foundation past the catwalk I just built. So it's one foundation past the platform. I think that's worth mentioning. And now we have a lot of platforms to build. Let's go. This is why we grabbed 6,000 at the beginning. This is another reason why the plastic and rubber production is going to suck. It's going to be so much. I'll probably be running back and forth for concrete quite a bit. Whoop. We are at the end. And the reason why it's going to be so much is because I'm going to consume 4 full pipes of oil. I'm going to be consuming 2,400 oil a minute. That's a lot. I think I have 8 to build, right? 7? I thought it was 8. Whatever. Not a problem. 7. And so in order to do that, this is something I did in my last build, in my last game, is I have 2 consecutive stops connected to each other, and the production is on that connection. In the previous game, I did my production kind of like this, where I did it underneath the train stops like this. I tried it a little bit, and I still hate how it looks. So instead, in this playthrough, I decided to take everything else and put it on top. And it kind of looks a little bit more like an actual train station as opposed to this. This just looks like... It looks like crap. I don't like how it looks at all. So... Live and learn. I may or may not redo this and bring it up on top. It functionally serves no purpose to do it other than to just make it look the same. But like actual functionality, there is no difference between whether you do your production nodes below it or above it. All right, here we go. There we go. Now we need to come down here. And what we're going to do is we are going to find, this is an outbound train, so we need to go into these connectors, which is one tick to the right of the center seam of this foundation. So we're going to come to the floor hole, and we're going to go right there and right there. And then, using our conveyors, we can do that. And belt. Now the outbound is wired up. We're going to put a buffer on top, and then we're good to go. This is the reason why we needed this space between the two, is because without the space, there's no way to get this outbound, sorry, the inbound to the production. So on this time, in this case, it's to the left of the center seam. So we're going to go right there and there. And it's only one input, so we don't have to do any more than that. And then over here, same thing. Go to our input, left side. And remember, if this is an input, you got to build it off of these. Not this one. This is if your item is getting ready to go out somewhere else. If it's an inbound item, it has to come off of these. You can see that that is pointing, and this little thing right here is pointing in the direction you need to go. All right. Got to flip its direction. Good to go. Line that up. And there. Okay, let's just double check and make sure everything's Mark 4. Because I have screwed it up and made things Mark 3 before, and it's just annoying. It's nice to take a minute and double check things when you got the moment. When you have a moment. And in this case, we need to change this to unload. So if you're bringing an item in, you have to change the freight platform to unload. Done. And then let's make sure that this side is also Mark 4, Mark 4, Mark 4. Now, I like being able to go up to the production area from either side of the train stop. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, just mirroring it. I'm going to go to here. And then I'm going to go up 6. And I'm going to hit 9 and E again to get another corner. Place the corner. We're good. Now this is fairly simple. We only have one in, one out. One in of from 2 stops and one out. What I like to do is I like to put the center of the production in the center of the train itself. So this foundation, and it's 18 long, so we're going to go to the 9th. So this is the very center of the production in relation to the train. Not in relation to input and output, but in relation to the train. That's an important distinction. Okay. How many was I making? 4? Motors. This production node is literally going to be one assembler. That's fantastic. Okay. 'Tis but a joy. And I was looking right at the middle. That's where it is. Cool. This one is so simple. The other ones I had like all this belting and crap that I had to do, and like I said, anything that's taking a raw ingot off of the from the smelting array, I'm sinking those items. I'm not sinking any of the I call these like step ones. Everything else is an intermediate. I'm not sinking any of the intermediates. Everything else is going to back up to where the only things that are always running are these the step ones. That's fantastic. I don't have to worry about... Oh, I love the fact that this is one assembler. Ha! All right. Industrial storage container. Outbound is right there. That's how close we want it to those. And let's go to here. Mark 4. Get you outbound and you outbound. And mark that. Go. And then we can do this. Straight. Yep. And then we're going to grab an industrial container. We're going to flip it that way now. Because outbound. And we'll grab this. Okay. And then, whoop, I need that. Good. Very good. And since this is literally one, I don't really need... Wow. This is fantastic. Because what I've had to do in the past is like do that whole merger thing where I have 4 inbound and then I keep the outbound I keep the item that is coming in, it's either low or it's high. So then I would have to do something along the lines of like a splitter system here. And I would go, okay, so here, and then 1, 2, 3, and then one of the inputs goes to this line and goes out to multiple assemblers, and then the next one goes into this and goes into more splitters that are this high, and then I use conveyor lifts to actually get them into place. But I don't have to do that here, which is great. I just do this. Now this one won't work so much. I do need to figure out what line this is on. It's on that line. So we're gonna do. So we're gonna come to here. 1, 2. Oh, dadgummit. Here? Yeah, that'll work. No. There we go. And now I have 2 inbound and 1 outbound. Now all I have left to do is power it up and make a couple trains to bring it in, and we're done. That's literally all that you have to do. So we're going to come right here, and we're going to go to this. And right there. We're going to take it straight up. Okay, that's the seam right there. And we'll go right here. And this can come over here. And you are making motors. Cool. And that's all that we had to do. Like setting up the production, if it's a basic item, like a not basic, but a step 1 item, it freaking sucks because you have to go down, you have to tap them, you have to get all the miners tapped, you have to get 480 of your ingots being made. Once you do that, you need to excuse me. With the 480 ingots, you have to, 480 ore, you have to smelt the ingots in a smelting array. Then you have to bring it up, and then you have to do the entire production of all of that. And then, like, there's a lot to set up a step 1 item. There's a lot. But it's so nice when this is all you have to do for everything else. You pop down a couple stops, put down a concrete pad for production, bring your items in, make however many assemblers, constructors, whatever it is that you need, throw it into a container, have that container connected to the train stop, and you're done. And all you have left to do is create a couple trains, sometimes even only one. Like for reinforced iron plates. The only new train for that one was iron plates, because I already had wire going. So there's nothing else to do. So we're going to head on over to the choo-choo crib, and we're going to create a rotor train and a stator train. And they're only going to be 1 cart long. And we're already at an hour, so I'm probably going to call it after this. Once we see the trains come in. Whoop. And, whoop, wrong. I bypassed it. There we go. 1 freight car. You are going to be the rotor train. And you are going to go to rotor. Wait. Where's my motor pickup? What? Did I forget to name the stop for rotors? I think I did. Dadgummit. I think you can rename the stops remotely, but just in case you can't, I think I forgot to do this. Oh, crap. I forgot to signal it up, too. Yeesh. I'm glad I came back. Oh, I called it motor drop-off 8. This is rotor drop-off 8. Why didn't you guys tell me? It's a joke. Stator drop-off 8. Rotor drop-off 8. And let's get this thing signaled up. Everything is a block signal for these. So we have 1 block signal at the entrance for the train, at the stop. We have 1 at the exit for the train stop, and 1 at the matching corresponding place on the main line. And then we have 1 where they meet. And that's it. This one, a little bit more intricate, because we have 2 stops, so 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And then last one there. Now, why is this important? Let's take a look at this. If we take a look at these signals, you'll notice that this entire block here, so for this from here all the way down and to both of these places here, those are all 1 logical segment of track. So if there's a train on any one of these, a train cannot pass through. But once a train gets fully past this mark and this mark, another train will be able to come through. Some people will put another block signal right here. It's superfluous to me because I have one literally right on this crosshair. Hey, Adriaxis. I do play Factorio. That's actually where I got this idea. So what was I saying? Oh, right. Putting a block signal here is very superfluous. There's no reason to put one there because we already have one literally right there. So as soon as the trains come in to drop their stuff off, this one can come through and we're good to go. Yes, I am so excited for the Factorio DLC. I've been watching Neil House's videos. It looks so good. However, I will not be playing it yet because Eden Crafters just went into early access. So I will be doing Eden Crafters off to the side of Satisfactory. Now that most of the uplift is complete, the only things I really have left to do, like I said, are do the plastic and rubber building, and then heavy modular frames and computers. Once those are done, I can build the other few things that I need, which are going to be smart plating. Oh, I'll also have to do circuit boards. I forgot about circuit boards. Automated wiring, and that's it. Because cable's already done. I'll be doing computers, modular frames, circuit boards. So yeah, at that point it's just automated wiring, smart plating, and then I can do the phase 3 things. And all of this is decentralized production. That's the main reason why I wanted to do all of this. Because like down there, it's all one big factory. And if you need to make changes, it's a nightmare, right? It's so tough to be able to make changes like this. And it is just, it's really, really tough when you have dedicated factories like this. And I like having decentralized production and using trains as the logistic system to take something from one place to another. Because then if you have to change something, or if you get another alternate recipe that makes it better, then all you have to change is one node. That's it. You don't have to change anything else in the entire system. All you do is you come in here, change one of the possible inputs. So say you're going from stitched iron plates to bolted plates, which I think is just screws and plates instead of wires and plates. All you have to do is change the station to bring in what you want, send the correct train, flush the lines, and literally you're done because you're not even changing the output. That's it. It is amazing decentralizing your production. This is a concept that I get from software engineering. By day, I'm a software engineer, and all of these things are functions. And a true function should really just have one in, one out. Yes, there are times when you might need to have an escape clause or something like that. But in general, generally speaking, that's all you have, is one in, one out. And one system shouldn't have to know about the other. And in this case, they don't. The logistics system is not done by the production nodes. The logistics system is done by, number one, planning, and number two, having the trains take things from one place to another. And you just make sure that your consumption is less than your production. As long as production is more than consumption, you're good. You never have to worry about anything. And yes, Adriaxis, I saw your messages coming through. I'm just finishing out my thought here. So dependency injection in software engineering says, I don't care about the details of how you do something. Just give me what you need and I'll send it to you. And so this is kind of like saying, okay, I need this amount of wires and this amount of pipes. And I'm going to give you this amount of stators. And that's data production. That's literally it. So I just did a dependency injection with Satisfactory. Well, kind of. Anyway, let's come back to here. And we're going to go to the timetable. And we're going to go search for rotor. We're going to go to the pickup and the drop-off. Save it. This is the rotor train. Turn it on. Go. Let's see. Wait, did you set the standby train thing 1-to-1 from Factorio? Should signal before train and train at the end of the start queue, I believe. There should be. There should be the signal before train, after train at the start. Yes. I have one here and one here on all stops. That was the rotor train. Now we create this one. And we create a new freight car for it. And this is the stator train. And edit. Stator, pickup, drop off, save, go. Done. It's easy as that. Can I link something here that's going to save your life much better? More than C++ Notebook? I don't have C++ Notebook. I have Notepad++. It's my favorite text editor. But if you want to paste a link, yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna tell you about what I'm gonna do off camera. Number one, I'm gonna tear all of this extra stuff down first that I don't need. If it's something that I am using that is not part of the system, like concrete, I'll leave it. I'm going to continue. I'm going to streamline the power to make sure it only comes into here from the coal and the power plant. I'm going to attempt to debug the power plant issue, why it's fluctuating as well. I'm going to go out to plastic and rubber, and I'm going to redo that entire production along with creating all that new fuel, which should hopefully, boost my power production. But like I said, one of the reasons why I need to do all of this is because I have a huge discrepancy between what I'm actually consuming and what my max consumption is. That's 8 gigawatts of power that that's a big discrepancy right now. When in the context of 22, roughly 21 capacity, 8 gigawatts is a third of my power. I want to get rid of all the superfluous things that I'm not using. And what I'm going to try to end up doing is plastic production with rubber, circuits, heavy modular frames, computers, pretty much everything that I already showed you. I'm going to try to do all of that off camera. But I'm also going to be doing quick wire. Quick wire is going to go up to that last stop down there on the corner. I won't be consuming anything because I don't need to use it right this second. But I will be using some of the quick wire for all of the power plants. Or sorry, fuel generators that I'm going to be creating out over there. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oh, the plastic and rubber production. I'm going to put that on its own priority switch as well. So I'll be having a priority switch here for the entire system. You know what? Maybe I'll just do a priority power switch on everything. That way I can just set all the levels, because when it really comes to it, the first priority is the power plant and the coal power plant out there. Number 2 would be plastic and rubber, because it will have auxiliary fuel production too. And then everything else is the next tier. So tier 1 is everything out there. Tier 2 is that. Tier 3 is everything else. So there's going to be a lot that I'm going to do off camera, because it's just going to take a long time to do it. Just so you guys know, it's going to take a really long time. Also, I pet the moth. You can jump on top of the moth and pet it. I did that off camera too. It was cool. The achievement was, and you can pet it. So yeah, disassemble stuff. Get rid of a lot of the production that I'm not using, just so I can bring this number down as much as I can. Also, once I actually get the adaptive control units, the modular engines, and the versatile frameworks, once I get all of those production nodes backed up and everything is backed up, I'm going to probably start syncing everything else as well. Right now, I'm only syncing step 1 items. I would like to eventually be able to sync everything else. So, okay. Let's see. Got it. Edra WMind, but better Google it so you can see examples on the Google. Very good if you have a to-do list with a lot of this before that, etc. Good for visibility. I think right at the end of the month as well. Makes a good okay. But probably before achievement. Okay. Yeah, I'll give that a look. So yeah. I am going to leave that with you, because a lot of this, just for the record, just so you all know, I did finish all of the other research within the hub that I could do. As a note, if you want to use blueprints, you can't just jump to Mark II. You have to have Mark I as well. If you don't have Mark I, you can't actually use them. You can create them, but you cannot use them. The ability to use a blueprint actually comes from this research. The ability to create a 5x5 blueprint comes from here, but the ability to use one comes from here. So, I have no more milestones. I don't know why this is flashing white, because they're all done. But yeah, I did all of that. Was there any other MAM tech that I did off camera? I don't know. Didn't make any much more progress here. Caterium, did I do the Caterium off camera? Maybe. I don't remember. I apologize, guys. I don't fully remember a lot of this stuff. Anyway, something else that I am going to do. I don't know whether this is going to be on camera or not. But something else I wanted to do is over yonder. Over yonder being out here. Somewhere in this area, I have quartz production. And I was thinking it'd be really cool to do a production node as an armory. It would only have trains in. There would be no production out. I can't think of anything I would need to do as an outbound, because I'd be manually consuming all of these things. But over there with the plastic and the rubber is I wanted to do a heavy oil residue outbound, a liquid train outbound. So that way I could bring heavy oil residue to the armory to make smokeless powder on a different site. Because whenever I've done smokeless powder, it's always been on site from some oil production, and I've always brought the sulfur and coal into it to just make all of the smokeless powder there. But it seems kind of fun to have it sounds like a fun idea to have an outbound train for heavy oil residue, so I can make that an inbound at the armory and make smokeless powder there. So that way I can make my own ammo. It's a pie in the sky kind of idea, and it's still a little bit far out because I still have to do everything else. Which, by the way, I have now completed motors. Those are done. So now I'm going to have plastic and rubber is next to go. After that is done, I'll probably do circuit boards as the second next. And then I'll do computers. And then heavy modular frames will be that next one. Next 4. And I don't really plan out more than 4. But really what it'll be is smart plating and automated wiring. Which the cool thing is I already have a reinforced iron plate train. I have a rotor train. I have a steel pipe train. I have a wire train. So I don't actually have to create any new trains. I just have to create the stops and tell the currently running trains, hey, go to these ones too. And that's it. One note of caution when doing this kind of system is if you have multiple production nodes that are going to be using the same item, say for instance wire, because cable uses wire, my stitched iron plates use wire, my stators use wire, build one of those stops and let it fully back up along with the stop that is producing that item. So the actual wire stop, let it also back up and then create the next one. So work on different pieces, work on different tiers, right? So once I built reinforced iron plates, I went over to rotors, because rotors and reinforced iron plates don't use any of the same stuff. Reinforced plates is plates and wire. Rotors is screws and rods. They're completely different trees of basic items. So build one, Let it back up, and while it's doing that, build something else. That's the one downside, is because this is, in essence, this is like an extended manifold. Really, that's what this is. It's an extension of the manifold system, just within the context of using trains to take something from one place to another, as opposed to the actual belts themselves. So, anyway, I hope you found this enjoyable. If you have, please smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Oh man, I don't know when the next episode is going to get recorded. I'm still actually a little bit behind on launching the episodes. I still think I have 2 more to go before this one that need to go live. But I just forgot to do them because I was so busy doing all of this. So anyway. And also keep an eye out for Eden Crafters coming in, as well as, yes, at some point, Satisfactory will be going as well. So, all right. Whew. That was a thing. Oh, hold on. You place text stuff on the screen and connect them with linear lines, etc., so you can make a custom tech tree style. Oh, that's cool. The arrow should be to the left. All right. Adriaxis, thank you for stopping by. Everyone on YouTube, thank you for watching. Thank you for staying here till the end. If you did get here if you did stay till the end, leave in the comments. Tell me, what is your favorite part of Satisfactory? And if you haven't played Satisfactory, what is your favorite game? I would love to know. Alrighty, with that, hold on. As I always like to do at the end, I need to end on top of my lookout tower. I kind of want to build a lookout tower on that side so I can look out. So I can look out at everything over there. I'm gonna have a lot of dismantling to do. All right, with that, I shall bid you all a fondue. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a fond adieu, or a fondue. All right, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.